I'm about to watch Spider-Man No Way Home, the movie breakdown from Eric Voss. Okay? So, once again, if you haven't seen the movie, for like the next 40 minutes, I don't know, go do something. Go twiddle your thumbs, man, because I'm about to talk about a whole bunch of shit. The spoilers start after the intros rolled. The spoilers start after the intros rolled. One more time, the spoilers start.
Feel like Pharrell in '07 on my shoes, ice cream, make stars, stop them out, it's a man down. Baby Milo custom PC getting fanned out. Not from the block, I'm from the H and we don't play around. Catch him at a red light with a Nerf gun, we gon' spray him down.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. When Toby came about that portal, bro, I was fucking lit. I was like, hey, yo.
Back to New Rockstars.
Hey, yo, it was one thing. It's one thing when he's like, bring me, where's Peter Parker? And you see the Spider-Man running down, and you're like, yeah, hold on, he looked kind of tall. He kind of looked too tall, bro. And then he comes out, his eyes are bigger than normal. I was like, wait. And then he just rips it off, man. Oh my gosh, so lit.
I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of Spider-Man No Way Home, a true Spider-Verse event that, start to finish, is a love letter to the web-slinger's full cinematic history, not only by bringing back past Peter Parker.
Oh my gosh. This shit's crazy. This shit is actually crazy, bro.
Parker's, but in even subtler ways, echoing little moments that prove.
This was definitely a moment that had me like, I felt the water on the brim of my eyelids, man. Just the way it was just like when he caught her and he kept asking her if she's good and are you sure, and I was like, oh my god, that shit just
how despite all these guys' different backgrounds, these dorks were destined to cross paths and rescue each other. So I'm gonna break this down scene by scene for everything you might have missed.
Holy
and folks,
shit.
I think I found more Easter eggs in this movie than I have in anything I've ever broken down on this channel in 5 years.
Sheesh.
Before we begin, you can celebrate Spider-Man No Way Home by checking out our awesome merch at newrockstarsmerch.com. We have this amazing new limited edition shirt, one of my favorite shirts Epic Hero Shop has ever made, called Strange.
Yeah, I'm glad they had Andrew do that.
You can get yours at newrockstarsmerch.com. And thank you to
He needed
for
that
sponsoring this video.
redemption,
More on
you know?
them later. Okay, the opening Marvel Studios title card has been updated slightly so that if you look closely on the whole,
The fact that this nigga remembers
Rocket, who was
this
in
type of
recent
shit,
MCU
bro.
titles, is now Peter Parker. The moment he came back through that portal to join Cap in Endgame, this movie will also make grown men cry, seeing Spider-Man arrive through portals twice.
Yo, as soon as they got into the movie, like the movie just, I don't know, it just seems so different. It was so much funnier, and like just them having conversations in their Spider-Man Peter Parker characters was so interesting. It was like literally being a fly in the room, just watching them talk. It was so funny and it felt so real.
Open immediately where Far From Home left off, the audio of the news broadcast.
Like I would literally watch just like a whole hour of them just talking about shit. Like, all three of the Spider-Mans just talking about shit. Especially when they're talking about like fighting aliens. It's like, well, I never fought an alien. Like I'm so lame. That was cool too, bro. I like how like he's like kind of beating himself up, and it was like also talking about the movie itself and how it performed. And then he's like, Toby's like, hey man, you're amazing. Stop, bro. You say it. You're amazing, man. I like that. I like that a lot, bro.
Jameson's Daily Bugle revealing Peter Parker's identity by Mysterio's doctored footage. Director John Watts recreated that 2019 scene to near perfect detail before it ended by cutting off Peter's F-bomb. Which itself was a callback to Aunt May's final line in Homecoming.
What the
But now a car censors out the word, and MJ is once again in her Joan of Arc shirt, but the three extras behind her are dressed exactly like the three guys behind MJ in the Far From Home scene. But the one major difference is that MJ now wears the broken black dahlia necklace that Peter bought her in Venice and gave to her in London.
I actually like it better broken.
This necklace is the key to Peter and MJ's relationship because in the final scene, despite her memory of Peter being erased, something compels her to keep wearing that. Proof that she wasn't just with Peter because he was Spider-Man and that she will wait forever for that I love you because
damn, look how tattered that shirt that
Notice how one of the onlookers says,
You're just a kid?
Just like one of the onlookers on the train says in Spider-Man 2
he's just a kid.
when that Peter got unmasked.
He's just a kid.
Remember, watch this. We won't tell anyone, Spider-Man. They go on TikTok. We just saw Spider-Man. His name is Peter Parker. It's crazy.
Peter swings MJ through Times Square where Jameson's inescapable broadcasting.
This is our dance monologue of Peter Parker saving us on the train.
Includes an image of Peter's face half covered, as it often is in the Spider-Man comics, and they passed 2 billboards
Fucking
for
snitches.
Rogers the
You know they went
Musical,
straight to
the
TikTok.
Captain America musical from Hawkeye on Disney+. Peter lands MJ on the Queensboro Bridge, where they are spotted by passengers on the nearby Roosevelt Island tramway, famous from the 2002 Sam Raimi Spider-Man film as the setting of the final battle where Green Goblin made Peter choose between Mary Jane or suffer the children. And then right after getting that Tobey era reference, we get an Andrew Garfield era reference when Peter thwips the manhole cover, recalling the very last time we saw Andrew Garfield on screen as Spider-Man. This is in front of Del Mar's Deli in Queens, Peter's favorite spot that showed up in Homecoming and in a deleted scene in Far From Home. But notice how it now reads Del Mar's 3 for this being the 3rd Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Back in their apartment, Aunt May...
Bro, he gotta be reaching, like what?
There's 3 for this being the 3rd Tom Holland Spider-Man
Come
movie.
on, dog.
Back in their apartment, Aunt May dumps Happy. Oh, but then they walk in on MJ and Peter.
Okay, yeah, this was so funny. This whole one-shot scene going around the apartment, that shit was so funny.
Back Aunt May walking in on Peter and Ned just like this in Homecoming. But John Watts shoots all of this in a full 2-minute long take to heighten that awkwardness.
Yeah.
And kudos to these 4 actors because the timing is so precise. Like when Peter fails to close the window shade the first time, he then whips it shut, which feels improvised. Like Tom Holland screwed up closing it the first time, but then was just like, oh, Peter could whip it. And then they added in the VFX of the webbing after that. Also notice how
Or
Peter
maybe it
wears
was
the
part
same
of the
I
script,
survived
man.
my trip to NYC
Come on, bro.
shirt that he wore in Homecoming as he came back home after
We've seen some crazy things in the movies, but it was probably the script, dude.
Mr. Stark confiscated his suit. It's less
The whole
baggy on
scene
him.
when they were swinging together was...
No, when I first seen it, I didn't even realize I had to see it again and then watch people's reactions to it. But when they were all 3 swinging and then like 2 of them connected to like, I guess Tom, and they swung to, it was so fucking, like, it made no, I was like, what the fuck? It just looked so good. And then how they landed, they landed the way that they, like, their poses, how they are in their movies, bruh. It was just so good. It was just so fire, bro.
Now, because our little guy is grown up. The Daily Bugle broadcasts hammer away at Peter. You see a Daily News front page photoshopping mugshots using their yearbook photos and revealing MJ's name as
Yo, Zendaya's mugshot, I would literally wear that on a t-shirt. She looks so fire, bro.
Michelle Jones Watson for the first
That's
time,
so
adding the
fire, bro.
Watson like her counterpart Mary Jane Watson. Time magazine calls him Iron Man Jr. and shows him crying like a baby. In Touch Weekly calls him Two-Faced, and then Peter gets doused in green paint while newsreel footage.
It's crazy how it's crazy how they just shit on this dude, bro.
Bridge includes the ticker political turmoil continues in New Asgard. So I guess Valkyrie's rule over that colony in Tonsberg, Norway might be a bit unstable. Something we can see more
Oh
of
my
in
God.
Thunder. And
Bro, I still be forgetting there's still other movies coming out. Yo,
It's Moist
thank
has
you for the
just donated
$75
$75.
donation. What the fuck?
Hey Dante, been watching you for a min on YouTube. My girl got me computer. Love your videos, bro. Happy New Year's.
She got you a computer? She a keeper, bro. She a keeper. They don't got me a laptop, bro. And the shit like closes. It's like a Transformer laptop, bro. Shit's crazy. But shout out to you and shout out to your girl for getting you a laptop. That shit crazy.
investigators recover the drones from Far From Home, linking them to
Hey, you must be doing something right.
Stark, giving investigators grounds to arrest Peter. The DODC returns, Department of Damage Control, who cleaned up Avenger messes in Homecoming, now led by Agent Cleary. Albert Cleary is the DODC comptroller in the comics. They take some evidence photos showing a framed photo of Ned and MJ from the Homecoming dance. Interesting how Peter is not in that picture, though. Keep that in mind. We see Peter's Star Wars figurines. There's a photo taken of the Iron Spider charging station without the suit in it, though.
Oh, wow.
And you see all that tangle of plugs into that one wall outlet. Also, we see the Edith glasses that Mysterio was trying to steal from him, and a bunch of PlayStation games.
I was about to say,
Because
what is those
during
games?
the interrogation, Peter wears the physics are theoretical, but the fun is real shirt that he wore in Spider-Man Homecoming when Tony Stark dropped him off back in Queens. Agent Cleary says Fury's been off planet for the past year. So Peter thought he was talking to Fury during Far From Home, but he was actually talking with the Skrull Talos, also confirming that the DODC is more aware of Fury's movements than most Avengers are. Also, that Agent Cleary just made my list of Skrull suspicious ahead of Secret Invasion. Because how else would he know that? Stark Industries, the company itself, gets swept up in the investigation. So, I guess Morgan Stark's gonna have to go to public school. The file photo they use of Happy Hogan was his look from Iron Man 3 Prologue. prologue in 1999 when he had long hair and the bolo tie like Vincent Vega and Pulp.
Wait.
His look from Iron
Man. The first Iron Man came out in 1999. Wait, no, this is another movie, right?
Man 3 prologue in 1999 when he had long hair and the bolo.
Wait, that was Iron Man 3. I was about to say, there's no way that movie came out in 1999.
The use of Happy
Oh,
Hogan.
the prologue is in 19. I was about to say, what the fuck?
What's his look from Iron Man 3 prologue in 1999 when he had long hair and the bolo tie like Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction? And blowing our minds in the first 10 minutes, they get legal counsel from freaking Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock.
I ain't watched this show, but like when I saw the cane, I already knew what it was, bro. I was like, oh shit. I didn't know what they was doing.
Daredevil from the Netflix series.
But I ain't watched
the
the show.
crossover even crazier than Toby and Andrew in my book because A, this is permanent in the MCU, and B, it presents wilder implications for the MCU, suggesting that much, if not all, of what we saw in the Netflix Marvel shows could now be MCU canon. And we just saw Cox's co-star Vincent D'Onofrio appearing as Kingpin in Hawkeye, and that finale episode will apparently give us some clarity on the
I haven't watched this either.
of all those stories. But to be clear, this Matt Murdock is the superpowered Daredevil. A brick flies in through the window and he catches it with lightning fast reflexes, but I love how Peter's hand was also ready to catch that brick too since he has Spidey sense. Also, fun fact, Jon Favreau played Foggy Nelson in the 2003 Daredevil.
Yeah.
Cool!
Yeah.
So they have to move into Happy's condo where he swiped Tony's dumb E-robot that we saw in the first Iron Man film, also recovered in Iron Man 3, and we saw Happy yelling at it in Homecoming.
Yeah.
Now, first on the TV, there are some people complaining about the new changes to the Statue of Liberty, which I agree. Why would you add
that shit.
Also, while they're in the condo, Happy
One of the funniest things is when J. Jonah Jameson was like, when he was talking to Peter and he was like, I want to cure them and meet me at the Statue of Liberty. And he was like, oh great, another monument you're gonna another monument that you're gonna tear down, da da da. And he was so right, bro. That shit got obliterated. It literally got obliterated.
Watches Downton Abbey just as he did in Iron Man 3 when he was in recovery.
Another American landscape he's gonna break down.
Spare security badges hanging? This was after he lectured everyone in Iron Man 3 that they have to have their one badge on them at all times. As Peter and MJ FaceTime, in MJ's room hangs her sketches of Peter with a rain cloud over his head, but also that one of Coach Wilson from Homecoming.
Why are you here? You don't even have detention.
Oh, I know. I just like coming here to sketch people in crisis. It's you.
There's also that same photo of her and Ned from Homecoming, again without Peter in it, and a photo of pigeons in Venice. And on the bed behind her, she is reading Maya.
Somebody said, I want to fall asleep with Zendaya on my FaceTime, bro. You're so down.
Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. In this conversation, Peter mentions his spider bite.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal.
This is actually only the second time in the MCU that Peter really referenced
about
that
the spider
after his chat with Ned in Homecoming.
You got bit by a spider? You didn't bite me? Well, it probably would have hurt, right? You know what? Whatever. Even if it did hurt, I'll let it bite me. Maybe.
Wait, so in the comics, does the web shooters come from his skin, or does he have a device for it? Oh, the chicken sandwich meal. Thank you. Hell yeah. I got some Mickey D's on the way.
How much did it hurt?
The spider's dead, Ned.
Betty Brant hosts the Midtown Morning News still, a job that she apparently also balances with being an intern for the Daily Bugle on TikTok. And she says, go get him, Tiger. Mary Jane's catchphrase for Peter in the comics and in the past films. Also, you can hear someone in the crowd yelling, do a flip! Just like that guy in Homecoming. Do a flip! Who also came back in Shang-Chi. The protester signs include several pro-Mysterio ones, one calling Peter Devil in Disguise. So this movie's premise is loosely based on the Spider-Man One More Day comic, in which Peter
he originally had web shooters in the comics. Gotcha.
Goes to Doctor Strange in search of a spell to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man, but ends up having to turn to a little girl who is revealed as Mephisto to do this instead, and actually ends with a similar reset as this film, in which Peter's identity is a secret once more, but at the cost of his relationships with MJ and with his friend. It was a very controversial comic when it came out.
Yeah, the ending was sad too, bro. When he just stuffed the paper back in his pocket, and it's just like, damn, you know?
It turned a pretty divisive comic storyline into a really great
I saw the meme. I saw the meme where there was like, he better than me. I would have been like, Bay, it's me, remember? I would have been in there crying, sobbing, bro, bae, it's me.
of cinema. In the crowd, there's also an MJ supporter. This is a cameo by Darnell Aplin, an actor and Zendaya's real-life assistant.
Oh,
Flash has
what the
published a
fuck?
tell-all book called Flashpoint, which is probably a nod to the DC Comics preceding
This
timeline
dude Flash
crossover
was
event,
so
with Barry Allen
stupid,
leading
bruh.
alternate
That shit
versions
was funny,
himself,
though.
and of Batman, which is being adapted into another cross-franchise event with The Flash in 2022. The school's mural of great inventors throughout history that showed Howard Stark in Homecoming has also now added the faces of Abraham Erskine, who is the inventor of Cap Super Soldier Serum, as well as Hank Pym in the upper right corner. Coach Wilson, Mr. Dell, and Mr. Harrington greet Peter with a display case of Peter's academic decathlon awards and his blazer. There's also a photo of Peter and MJ in Venice where it looks like Mr. Harrington might have pasted himself in from one of his selfies that he took then. Later on the rooftop,
Bro, how did he even? He had to watch this movie on an illegal site to see these shits. There's no way he saw this off of somebody's recording on YouTube or some shit. He watched this movie on an illegal site.
MJ reads a New York Post. That is the salacious tabloid that they actually based the earlier Daily Bugle designs on. Reading Peter Parker and his spider minions, showing Peter puppeting Ned and MJ. Below reading, his hypnotic spider senses seduced Jones Watson. Male spiders actually do release hypnosis-like pheromones, and ironically, Peter does allow MJ and Ned to be brainwashed, but to forget about him. Peter rolls over to kiss her, and the textbook that he rested his head on was chemistry.
Fuck
I see what you
chemistry.
did there. Thought we wouldn't notice, but well, we did. Also,
Literally
written
the worst,
background
useless
is Ditko,
subject
a reference
ever
to Spider-Man co-creator
invented.
Steve Ditko. Peter gets rejected from college after college. Dumb E gradually reassembles Peter's Death Star until the MIT one comes in and Dummy just breaks it, just like Ned did. And
What?
all three of the friends get rejected,
Wait,
which is a bummer.
There's literally a blur in like some of the screenshots that he's showing.
Because MIT is Tony Stark's alma
Which
mater,
means
where
it
he
was
handed out
like
scholarships to
somebody-
Civil War, and where future Ironheart reads
There's like a
Little
watermark.
The witch string lights
There's like
actually
a
have
watermark,
little
bruh.
goatees, making them little Doctor
That
Stranges,
shit's
giving Peter
hilarious.
the idea of what Avenger to return to, and we hear the notes of Doctor Strange's theme here that leads Peter to 1778 Bleecker Street, the Sanctum Sanctorum. Inside, one of the shoveling apprentices is played by Emily Fong, who worked production on Infinity War, Endgame, Shang-Chi, and Black Widow. Wong arrives and explains how one of the Rotunda gateways open to
That's
Siberia.
gotta be cool
led
to be
Blizzard
working on a movie and then like they actually let you get like a little role in the movie.
in. We saw those gateways in the 2016 film. I will say, the production of this movie went to an insane amount of effort to freeze over the sanctum for just a, oh, left the door open to Siberia gag. I'm wondering, with those floodwaters pouring into the sanctum in the Multiverse of Madness teaser, this may be a bigger indicator of this reality destabilizing.
Look at the drip, though.
Strange floats in wearing a Columbia University hoodie. Columbia is his alma mater. We see another one of these hoodies floating by the laundry machines downstairs, and he's carrying a mug reading, "Oh, for Fox's sake." We learned that Wong actually holds the rank of Sorcerer Supreme
Yo,
since
Wong
Strange blipped for 5
said-
years. Since WandaVision told us that Scarlet Witch's powers surpass those of the Sorcerer Supreme, that might mean Strange might be even lower on that sorcerer hierarchy than we thought and might need her help even more. Strange says that Peter's request to reverse
That
time is
nigga
selfish,
was literally
plus the time stone
opened the
was
portal and
atomized.
was
But
out.
Peter says, quote, "It's not about me. I mean, this is really hurting a lot of people." In doing so, Peter uses the same words that the Ancient One used in her crucial lesson to Strange.
It's not about you.
He said,
And so Strange agrees to help him using a
he
spell
said, "Don't
called the
care,
Runes
didn't
of
ask."
Kafkal. Not sure the spelling, but Kafkal isn't from any of the comics that I know of. But what Wong says, the memory wiping spell travels the dark border between known and unknown realities, suggesting that to enact this spell, you have to kind of bridge with other realities of the multiverse. And he leaves them through a portal. You can see that bell tower in the background. That's actually in the Kamartaj courtyard. Strange explains how the Sanctum is built at an intersection of cosmic energy currents, that they weren't the first to seek this out, with walls thousands of years old, and that they shot an episode of The Equalizer there in the 80s. The spell goes crazy.
"Bruh,
and
when
Peter
they said that, I didn't even." I didn't know what they was referring to. I thought they were talking about the fucking Denzel movie, bro.
Basically, everyone who knew that I was Spider-Man before should still know that is the rule by which characters get warped into this reality, also suggesting that Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane, both Harry Osborn, several others might have also been briefly walking around in the MCU, but also tells us that Venom,
wow.
through his multiversal symbiote hive mind, must have known that Peter is Spider-Man, though I didn't know when Electro found out that Peter was Spider-Man, unless there's some kind of Spider-Man Mandela effect that I'm suffering from. It's possible. As this purple void surrounds them, Strange sees a glowing silhouette that looks like the glowing arms of Doc Ock, him being one of the characters that are currently spilling into this reality. So Strange has to encase this spell in a prism, similar to how Strange in What If encases Killmonger, Infinity, and Zola Ultron in a prism to contain that reality rupturing chaos. But this prism is a dodecahedron, which is made up of pentagons with 5 sides and 5 corners because Peter
I'm seeing all the stuff that I missed in the Spider-Man movie.
Changed his spell 5 times.
And we can finally talk about it because it's been a minute.
Strange thought it was 6, but if you listen back, Peter changed it for MJ, for Ned, for Aunt May, for Happy, and then for everyone who knew. That's 5. So what was the 6th? Well, the 6th may have been a secret change by Doctor Strange so that he would still remember Peter because he loves him. At least that's my theory. Peter suits up in the Iron Spider armor, using extra wings to glide the bridge, and inside his heads-up display,
bro, dude's suit was wrinkled as hell.
Offline. Also, the voice has changed to male, and that's because the DODC has confiscated and disabled all the drone network. It's
Harmless,
interesting
thank
that
you for the
they
5
did
gift
not
subs.
take this Iron Spider suit too, but again, when they raided its place, that suit was not charging in the port. So I don't know, maybe Peter tried to flush the nanotech down the toilet. Now, on this bridge, there are a ton of license plates, and I can tell you, folks, I looked at all of them because John Watts loves to hide Easter eggs in his license plates.
You
so the only ones I could actually decode to mean anything were a Nissan with SEYS1DP, and earlier there was an anagram book on Peter's shelf, so this plate rearranges to Spideys, plural, which could be a clue for multiple Spideys being in this movie. And of course, the MIT woman's car is 63A5M3.
Man, watching this movie a second time,
3 for 1963.
Literally, all I could think about is just I was just waiting for the
Spider-Man
to come.
Arrives in the scene, played once more by Alfred Molina from the 2004 Spider-Man 2. He looks awesome. Composer Michael Giacchino samples Danny Elfman's Doc Ock theme from that film, and as his claws smash through this bridge, note that the claws light up red, which in that 2004 film was how we knew when the claws were controlling.
Are they acting like he didn't save the universe, and when Toby shot his web and Andrew and Tom was confused was hilarious, and I wonder what Ned and MJ will say when they go through their messages and see
there was old text, but the movie was so fire. Like, wouldn't the text not be there? Wouldn't everything kind of just be erased? Isn't it like a full reset, kind of?
Otto's brain.
But then again, she still has the necklace. I don't get how it works, bro. You know, time travel, memory wipes, all that shit.
So this must have happened before Peter converted him, at which point the lights flickered back white. Doc Ock brings up his machine here,
crossing dimensions, all this shit, man.
The movie.
What have you done with my machine?
And he quotes his line from the 2004 film, his whole goal.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Now, at one point, you'll notice Peter webs one of the claws to a car door to make it harder for Doc Ock to grab anything else.
Slide was hard.
Doc Ock pries off some of Peter's nanotech, which then absorbs onto his arms. So if you remember back to the first Raimi film, Norman Osborn was an expert on nanotech.
Hey!
I read all your research on nanotech.
Theater went crazy when he said that
in the sequel, Octavius
in the
built
movie.
His arms using
You know, I'm
Oscorp
something
tech.
of a scientist myself.
Harry Osborn and Oscorp Industries for providing it.
And he explained how he controls these arms using a neural link.
These smart arms are controlled by my brain through a neural link. Nanowires feed directly into my cerebellum.
And since the Stark nanotech is controlled neurally as well, that would allow Doc Ock's tech to be compatible with it. However, that link goes both ways, so Peter is able to pair with the arms and control the arms remotely. And then Otto snaps at his arms saying, "Listen to me," calling back what he said at the end of the 2004 film.
Listen to me now.
Then Green Goblin swoops in, but Doctor Strange portals them back to the crypt where the lizard is already contained.
Dog,
Doc Ock
when that happened, when he came in and then he got teleported away, I thought they were about to do a type of thing where it was like it was a dream, it wasn't real or some shit. I was about to get so mad.
If this is a birthday party, just like Tony Stark referenced Doctor
I was like,
Strange's
hey yo, what the
pit
fuck?
when they first met.
What is your job exactly besides making?
It was all a dream.
Peter enlists MJ
It's part
and
of the
Ned.
spell.
Ned asks Doctor Strange,
How did you know you were made up of magic? Because my Nana says that we have it in our family, and sometimes I get these
So with this, are they trying to insinuate that this man actually like we can wield magic powers now?
Talk to your physician.
and later, Nana's home has a display of ancient blades.
Oh, never
and
mind.
Ned successfully operates the sling ring, which surprises Strange.
Yep.
So yes, it really does seem like Ned might have a future as a sorcerer in the MCU. Then down in the Undercroft, there's all kinds of creepy goodies. A doll turns its head at them.
Yeah, what
In
the
a
fuck
fridge
was
are a
that
bunch of
about?
Creatures, a floating eyeball in a jar, a claw creeping out from under foil. MJ finds a goatee guard that Strange must use to get his goatee perfectly shaved. And then MJ goes on TikTok to find people on homemade gliders replicating Green Goblin, another with a Frost Giant cosplay that reads, "I am the Green Elf." And then at the end of this, they're finally able to track down Electro, where Peter also finds Sandman battling Electro with his suit turned inside out. Sandman helps Peter
cool,
because they were on good terms at the end of the 2007 film, but Electro, Jamie Foxx, now has a new body looking
Sam's just gonna stand here and act like I ain't butt-ass naked.
calls it out since they didn't know each other while they worked at Oscorp in the same continuity. This new body is never really explained in the movie. Meanwhile, Willem Dafoe, Norman Osborn, my favorite actor in this movie, argues with his goblin helmet.
Yo,
just as he
I ain't gonna lie. This part of the movie where he was arguing with the helmet, and then it shows the helmet and it shows him running away, looks so weird because I think it's a CG running animation, and it just looks so weird, bro.
Dafoe, Norman Osborn, my favorite actor in this
Oh,
movie,
I wish he could
argues
show
with
it.
his goblin helmet, just as he would in the 2002 film. But the argument
It just
ends with
looks
him
so
shattering
funny,
the
bro.
helmet. But even after it shatters, the goblin voice laughs, meaning breaking that helmet did not destroy the identity; it just fused it into Norman's soul.
Oh my
Notice
God.
the framing of this broken mask as
NGL. If I was Peter, I been woulda asked Strange to make Aunt May forget that she was my aunt. Woulda been raps.
What? What the fuck?
Norman walks away, matches the framing of Tobey Maguire Peter
That's
leaving
still
his
your
suit
aunt,
behind the
dude.
garbage can in the 2004 film, but in both cases, the characters get dragged back into the game. You know, as I am looking for all these details, I like to keep my snack game going, but I'm tired of the same old snacks, which is why I
WAD.
turned to Boxu.
And I
Boxu
turned
is a
to
monthly subscription
Welch's
service
Fruit
that delivers
Snacks.
premium
Delicious
Japanese
on the go.
snacks and tea pairings straight from Japan to your door. Each themed monthly Boxu box
I'm sorry,
takes you on
but
a
I
gourmet
need
snack
to
night
know
with
the
tasty,
information of this
limited
movie.
that you carts and book you if you have a channel who's tries so Beast Facility, that's the homeless center where Peter works in the comics and in the games. Someone tagged the sign outside with "Mysterio was right" and a green circle over Peter's head, just like Mysterio's fishbowl helmet.
Nah,
Inside,
Mysterio
Norman
was
plays
tripping. If
convincing,
anything, we
mentally
need to see some
disturbed man
Thanos was
saying,
right.
"Someone's at my house. Oscorp doesn't exist."
I cannot trust this dude, bro,
And
for
trails
nothing.
off, referring to Harry Osborn, of course, but also telling us that Oscorp, at least any company named that, is not currently in the MCU anywhere. Notice how he wears a green coat over those purple sweats, Goblin's colors. Meanwhile, Aunt May's costume is worth looking at. She was wearing a blue jumper with a red sash that could be foreshadowing the bloody wound that causes her death. Aunt
Dude,
May tells Peter to help Norman.
just a red
Peter says,
ribbon,
"This isn't
man."
my problem," which she gets mad at him over because it recalls Tobey Maguire Peter's fateful
Thanks.
decision not to intervene, which led to Uncle Ben's death.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
J. Jonah Jameson's upgraded Daily Bugle show, which is really
I
thanks
missed
to
the
his
part where
Spider-Man
that's
coverage,
my
now
problem.
pushes
Yo,
supplement.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Somebody said some stupid shit, man, and then messaged me. I blocked them. After they said it, they messaged me, and they messaged me on the alt account. It was like, "Hey, man, I was just playing. I was just playing. I didn't think you were gonna block me for what I said." I missed the part where that's my problem, and I showed. It was like a gif of Spider-Man turning around and walking away.
Which is another jab at Alex Jones. The Chiron reads, "Why does Spider-Man hate national
I'm gonna start
monuments?"
doing that shit from
Recalling
now
the
on, bro.
Washington
All my unbanned requests. I missed the part where that's my problem.
Monument in Homecoming and Tower Bridge and
I need to
Far
find
From
a
Home.
Spider-Man
Meanwhile,
emote,
Otto
though.
Octavius recalls the moment he warped, saying he
donated $5. All Peter had to do was wish for Mysterio to be forgotten, and everything he said rolling on the floor laughing still a Fi storyline.
Yeah, like the thing is, when people start getting into that type of shit, it's like, yo, why didn't you use this? Why didn't you use this like memory wipe in Endgame to make Thanos forget that he even wanted? It's like when you get into that though, it's like, bro, we still need movies. We still need entertainment. Like it would just defeat the whole purpose of anything.
He had Spider-Man
If you think
by the
that
throat,
deep
so
into
this
it.
must have happened right before Toby changed him in this moment in the film.
These things have turned you into something you're not. Don't
Musical
listen to
Andrew
them.
123 donated $5. Love you, Dante.
Lay it to, man.
It's my dream. Sometimes, to do what's right, we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most.
Also, Thanos was that nil. So would that even work on him?
Meanwhile, Max talks about being absorbed into the grid, about to turn into pure energy, recalling the Amazing Spider-Man 2 when Peter and Gwen hardwired Electro to that grid and overloaded his chip. And then Lizard
I really like
asks
how
Max
I really like how stuff was shot in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 2.
He dies, but he never gets an answer,
T-O-O.
and that's because Lizard doesn't actually die in the 2012 film. He ends up locked up and approached to join a future Sinister Six. So Strange shows them the box, the Machina Dichotomus, in Latin, roughly the division machine, which he could use to send them back to their universes. But Peter and Strange debate over this. Strange says, in the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means infinitely more than their lives. The subtext, of course, being his guilt for sacrificing Tony Stark as part of his complex calculus from seeing 14,605 future outcomes to defeat Thanos. If you think about it, calculus was also the type of arithmetic on He Who Remains chalkboard. And I just find it interesting that Peter overcomes Strange by doing simpler geometry. It's still super nerdy, just not overthinking it, doing as much 4D chess as those guys are. So Peter snatches the box and Strange pursues them, trapping him between portals so that he whips his own foot. I love it. But then he brings Peter back to push his astral soul from his physical body, similar to how the Ancient One did to him. However, Peter's soulless physical body still manages to evade Strange.
I was like, yo, what?
Interesting. This must be a higher form of the Spidey sense.
That's cool as
which
fuck.
would be a neurological reflex that is divorced from Peter's conscious mind, but it also shows us how this is really linked to a kind of metaphysical magic. And later in the movie, Andrew Garfield Peter does say magic's real here too, so he might be aware of that link as well. Strange sends the Cloak of Levitation after Peter, giving us that what if Spider-Man became the Sorcerer Supreme image from the comics that we also saw in the zombie episode of What If. I love this.
Yo, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, dog.
Who do you think is a better villain, Green Goblin or Thanos? Green Goblin is just evil to
you
be
know,
evil.
bruh.
Thanos was a poet with a reason to be evil.
You know who I'm gonna choose, bruh. I hope everything is well. Lots of love. Take care. Thank you for everything, Dante. We love and appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know who I'm gonna choose. I see why people pick Green Goblin, the actor with I forgot his name, but the actor, the dude's just a talented actor. But the way he played that role was actually crazy. But I'm super fucking, Thanos was, he's just fire, bro. He's just so fire.
Detail on a nearby newsstand are People magazines with Liz Allen, Peter's crush from Spider-Man Homecoming, daughter to Adrian Toomes' Vulture, calling
I do like how much Green Goblin just don't give a fuck though.
Peter a liar, showing us that family, including Vulture, is still somewhere in the multiverse and gonna show up.
Literally after he killed Aunt May and when he was leaving, thank you. Literally when he killed Aunt May when he was leaving, he just started blowing up the cops too. William Dafoe, that's his name. He just started blowing up the cops too. He was like, why not? What the fuck? I don't give a fuck. I was like, damn, bruh. Like he could have just drove off.
But Morbius. Don't know how that's gonna make sense. Strange traps Peter in the mirror dimension. The VFX are incredible. Peter tumbles past the High Line in New York City, which Kate Bishop actually just recommended to Yelena in Hawkeye. He tumbles through a department store where you can hear Christmas music playing. Peter tumbles toward the Bethesda fountain in Central Park. It actually looks like the Angel of Water statue might have, like the Statue of Liberty, been swapped out for an Avenger. Strange traps Peter in an endless loop of portals, creating the illusion of infinite Spider-Men, as there are. And then Peter recognizes from the Archimedean spiral that he can geometry the shit out of this and trap Strange in a web of math. And again, if you want a way to really celebrate this awesome magic versus math moment, you gotta get your hands on our exclusive Strange Entanglement shirt at newrockstarsmerch.com. Norman offers to help Peter, saying, I'm something of a scientist myself. Of course, his line from the 2002 movie.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
Peter and Ned do their recurring handshake, and it ends with the sling ring sparking a bit, a little sign that Ned does have a kind of inner magic to him. Peter takes them to Happy's condo. The security feed glitches as Electro passes.
$5. Hi Dante, I am just curious, is Vice City another dead game? Can you still have the streams? Have been in the streams for 2 years.
Bro. Yeah.
From his appearance, and then Otto snaps, I don't need fixing, especially by some teenager using scraps in a bachelor's junk drawer. It's not a drawer full of scraps, it's a box of scraps! On the walls of Happy's room, you can actually see the name Slott. That's a reference to longtime Spider-Man writer Dan Slott. Peter activates a Stark Tech fabricator. We saw this kind of device used on the Stark jet to design his new suit in Far From Home. It's powered by an arc reactor. This is a familiar design. This is the new Element Arc Reactor Mark I with the triangular inlay that Tony Stark constructed using the new element he rediscovered in Iron Man 2. I love that this is the era of arc reactor he used because in Spider-Man Homecoming, they specifically had the Mark 42 armor that was using that same generation of arc reactor from Iron Man 3 on the Stark jet. So that would be the one that Happy still has in his possession. Meanwhile, Otto and May share some water in the kitchen. They did briefly date in the comics. Then Peter decides a new
I was about to say, they was talking like they finna get together or something.
New inhibitor chip for Doc Ock to replace the one that got fried in the 2004 film. And he puts in place these 6 needles that go into Otto's skin and fuse with the spinal cord. I love how they use the same exact production design from the Raimi films for all of these pieces of technology. They really clearly did their homework to look at how all of these things function. At this point, the red lights on Doc Ock's claws flicker back to bluish white, and he transfers the nanotech back to Peter to give him this golden spider, 8 arms, just like his own. It's like giving him a badge of honor there. Otto encourages his buddy Norman that he's about to rid himself of his darker half, but Norman, facing away from him, says, "Just me." And Defoe uses his darker goblin voice in this moment, meaning it is only Goblin in his mind right now. And so Peter's spidey sense kicks in, and he just kind of wanders around the condo.
This part was
It's
so
super
creepy, bro.
And notice as it begins, the first person to appear in his periphery is Norman Osborn. And the first thing Peter says is, "Man."
Yo, Music Andrew with a $100 donation. Bro.
Musical Andrew 123 has just donated $100. Wanted to sub, but it wasn't working, so here's smiley face. Love ya.
Bruh, why didn't you just try again? You just send $100, bro. Yo, and for Fernando, thank you for the 1,000 bits as well. And Minty, thank you for the gift this sub. Did y'all get did anybody get Twitch gift cards? I didn't even know they had those.
May, it's his instinct telling him that Norman will post a fatal threat to May. And so Peter whips Norman to dummy, which as they came into the condo, you can see Norman in the background casing. So Goblin makes his case to the other.
Yes, they literally have Twitch gift cards, bro. The way they were fighting in this was actually so dope. Like he was getting tossed around. And when he started punching him and he just started smiling, that shit was like the best part.
They're villains. These are not curses, these are gifts. Recalling the final
so
lines
giddy,
of the 2002 film, the lesson that Tobey Maguire Peter learned.
This is my gift. My curse.
When Peter had to rationalize his powers as both a gift and a curse. The fight breaks out. Peter punches Goblin, and Goblin just smiles more and more. He is loving it. The combat is just so brutal. Apparently, Willem Dafoe insisted on doing as many stunts as he could.
What the fuck? Wait, hold on.
Surgeon _of _life donated $5. What's up, Dante?
What up,
Who
man?
was your MVP for No Way Home? I feel like Andrew was the best Spider-Man cause it seemed like he embraced being Spider-Man 3.
No, I feel like Andrew was definitely he was funny as fuck. I feel like he really stood out, bro. I feel like he really stood out. Oh, stop pausing. Hold on. Stop typing. Stop typing in my chat then. Hold that. Hold that, boy.
Say donated $5. Even if Peter asked Doctor Strange to erase Mysterio from everyone's lives, the world would still know that Peter murdered someone, so I think the movie's plot could still happen.
Yeah,
Could
I
himself.
have no idea what's
Downstairs,
going on, bro.
Goblin's glider
In terms
strikes
of like
May,
the memory
and
shit.
now that
but
creepy face is
now it seems like he's really about to just be on his own. Like he's really about to start just doing this shit. Because he's always had some help, or he's always had a partner in the Spider-Man movies. So maybe now it's gonna be
Galaxy_Noah donated $5.
just him, you know?
Oh yeah, Goblin was beating the mess out of Tom, and
Yeah, he
when
was
Tom
fucking him
wasn't
up.
pulling his punches, Goblin got completely washed. IDK, what happened to bro?
covered in a hobgoblin-style hood, and he tosses a pumpkin bomb, which Peter bats away, showing how this goblin is just as willing to bomb an Aunt May as he was in the 2002 film. And as she dies, May says the immortal words of Uncle Ben, "With great power, there must also come great responsibility." Yeah, there was a slight rewording, and that's because she said the original comic wording of the line that includes "there must also come" directly from Stan Lee. Folks, that hit hard. So to cheer us up, Ned uses the sling ring to portal to one of the other Peter Parkers currently in this universe, Spider-Man Andrew Garfield, a guy no one will ever believe again in interviews. Notice the music in this moment is actually James Horner's Young Peter theme from the Amazing Spider-Man film in 2012. And we just gotta pause and appreciate how great the Andrew Garfield era of the Spider-Man suit was. I mean, it's definitely my favorite aesthetically. Great shade of blue, huge eyes, and a true DIY practicality to it.
Like, look how it was shot, bro. Like, look.
My favorite aesthetically, great shade of blue, huge eyes,
Seeing this in
true
theaters,
DIY practicality to it. One thing that
it's
era
so dope.
nailed. But then Ned portals again, and Tobey Maguire Peter Parker steps in. His entrance set to Danny Elfman's Spider-Man theme. And we gotta credit both Maguire and Garfield for so deftly slipping back into their mannerisms. Tobey is preemptively polite.
I walked outside and on the phone I come back and you're still watching this LMAO love you, bro.
Bro, it's 40 minutes, man.
And dopey. Andrew is post-mistake apologetic and super chatty. And I also like how their first instinct upon seeing each other is to whip attack, as if the last time either of these guys encountered a doppelganger, it might have been a hostile situation. Tobey Peter says that he liked to hang out atop the Chrysler building, as we saw his Peter perch in the Raimi films. Andrew Peter says he liked the Empire State Building for the view, but they find Peter on the rooftop of his school in Queens. It's not about the view, it's about a refuge from his high school life, because he never moved into the city. Andrew Peter starts to say he has some understanding of losing someone, of course referring.
Yo, bro. Niggas, bro. I'm sorry, but like, bro, people were being annoying, bro. Stop pausing, bro. Pause this ad, bro. Pause the ad, man. How about that, man?
Referring to letting Gwen Stacy die, and he goes on to describe what happened after Gwen's death, how he stopped pulling his punches and got rageful and bitter. So apparently,
everybody in chat, while they're watching ads, everybody spam stop pausing. Everybody in chat spam stop pausing. just to really make them mad, bro.
How did the younger version of Aunt May die, but the older one survived his bomb?
Okay.
Apparently, in that Garfield continuity, this Spider-Man might have straight up killed people, which is an insane revelation. I'm gonna explore all that in another video. But Tobey Peter recounts the vengeance that he felt that led him to track down Uncle Ben's murderer, and how in Spider-Man 3 that wound was reopened with Flint Marko and exacerbated by Venom, a critical lesson that he had to learn. And all three recognize the words "with great power comes great responsibility," making that proverb a kind of constant absolute point among all the Spider-Men. They return to the high school and work together to engineer cures for all of them. I love how
easily the best part of the movie. Literally just them interacting, bro.
Dirty the second half of this movie is. Tobey Peter tells Ned that his best friend died in his arms after trying to kill him, referring to Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 3. Meanwhile, Tobey Peter tells Andrew Peter that he and Mary Jane eventually made it work. Ned calls her Peter, and all three of them look up, confusedly pointing at each other. Of course, a nod to the meme. Awesome. And Tobey Peter shows how his webbing, unlike the others who use mechanical web shooters, comes freakishly out of his
theater got hype
wrists.
as hell,
I love
bro.
how Andrew plays super grossed out, and even when Tom Holland moves the conversation along, he even continues staring at Tobey's wrist for a beat before he's like, oh, okay, yeah, what? And then on to the showdown at the Statue of Liberty. Tobey Peter's back tenses up, a callback to Peter hurting his back in the 2004 film, which itself was an inside joke about how Tobey nearly sit out of the sequel after hurting his back on Seabiscuit, and then Andrew cracks it for him for once cracking someone's backbone without killing them. Tobey talks about how he fought an alien made out of black goo, of course.
Wait, Seabiscuit is the horse movie, right?
Referring to Venom, his Eddie Brock played by Topher Grace, and setting up Tom Hardy Venom's arrival in the post-credit scene. And then Tom Holland Peter talks about how he fought Thanos, and then Andrew's like, oh, I'm lame.
Sorry, I gotta hear. Thank you for subbing. Bro, I gotta hear what they're saying.
Guy in a rhinoceros suit, of course referring to Paul Giamatti's Rhino. But I love it. Tobey Peter talks him up, saying he's actually amazing, giving Andrew Garfield the credit he deserves, despite his amazing Spider-Man era.
But I hate how now everybody's like, oh, everybody hated on him, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Why wasn't you saying that then? Why you wait till after the movie, after everybody and everybody saying all these nice things? That's when you want to come out your mouth and say, I actually really preferred him over Toby's rendition of Spider. I'm like, yo, I be looking at some of them comments. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up, because you was not like that, bruh. You only dick riding now.
Often ranked the lowest by fans, he's still amazing, and now he's got his brothers. But I love how the first time these Peters try to work together, it totally fails.
Bullshitting, man.
They are more used to being.
Well, actually, I preferred Andrew. Now you say that.
Teach Tom how to mourn and to forgive. Tom teaches them the one thing his era of Spider-Man had that theirs didn't: cooperation with superheroes more powerful than he is. At one point, Tobey
was really out there.
How is this helping?
No, that was funny. That was funny. Bro. Of all the things like that happened in the movie that people would laugh at, I feel like that deserved a bigger laugh. I don't think people understood how much he did not care about what he was talking about, bruh. In my theater, in the times that I watched it, it only got a little bit of laughs, but like he deadass was irritated, like, yo, how is this helping?
Tom teaches them the one thing
That
his
shit
era
was the
Spider-Man
funniest
had
thing.
That theirs didn't. Cooperation with superheroes.
He really
more
had
powerful
the
than he
Avengers
is.
though,
Oh,
but
wait,
the
Toby
other
just straight up screams, "How is this helping?"
other Spider-Man
And
was
Andrew
solo
Peter
dolo
asks
out
if
here.
the Avengers are a band, calling back when Bruce Banner asked if the Avengers broke up like the Beatles.
The Avengers broke up. We're toast.
Like a band? Like the Beatles?
But they're able to figure it out, and a little subtle detail here that I loved. During their heroic swing, Tom Holland Peter whips to his two brothers to sling
That right
them
there.
back.
Wait, what is happening?
Tom Holland Peter whips to his two brothers to sling them back up.
So what? I don't know what happens, but it just looks so fire. I was like, I don't even know what they just did the helicopter shit
with him, so that the three of them can leap together off the Statue of Liberty head right at Electro and say,
I need that poster. I need that as a poster, bro.
Sandman and Lizard. Meanwhile, you see how Electro's bolts at one point fire up in a star shape around his head like Electro's mask in the comics. Toby Peter manages to revert Thomas Hayden Church Flint Marco. I love how that device lights up and spins. The same way the Super Collider.
Also, the fucking Lizard dude, all he talked about was making people, he literally didn't care about nothing else but making people lizards, bro.
Did in Spider-Man 3. Then Lizard jumps into the portal with Ned and MJ, thrashing around that
That
science
shit was
lab,
so
evoking
funny,
that
bro.
school battle in the 2012 film. But then Doc Ock helps
Everybody's
them
getting
fix
deep.
Electro,
Everybody
and
has
hit
their own
Lizard with
monologue,
the
and he's
same
like,
serum gas
we could
that
all
they
be
used as a
lizards.
reigning antidote
The
to
world
the
could be so much
2012
better.
movie, reverting him to Rhys Ifans' Dr. Connors. And then Max Dillon tells Andrew Garfield Peter,
it's like, dude, you don't even want to at least talk about animal cruelty or something, like have that as a backstory. The way humans have treated lizards will it's just like, no, we all need to be lizards, dog. Oh
that
God.
he thought he was going to be black, and that there's got to be a black Spider-Man somewhere out there.
Yes, sir.
Definitely setting up Miles Morales to step
Morales.
up sometime soon, hopefully, since we do know from Aaron Davis.
And I like how sorry and like Andrew's Peter Parker was when he said that. I thought you were gonna be black. He was like, oh, sorry, man. It's like, dude, it's not like you can control it, bro.
Lines in Homecoming that Miles
So
Morales
sorry, man.
does exist in the MCU.
I don't want those weapons in
He
this
looks so
neighborhood. I got
sad.
a nephew who live here.
He looks so
Yeah,
sad when he
sorry,
said
Miles, I'm not gonna make it.
Then Green Goblin dives
man.
in, snarling, "Can the Spider-Man come out to play?" Calling back his creepy line to Tobey Maguire Peter over the phone.
We
in the
should also be
2002
lizards,
film.
bro. Like it.
Can Spider-Man come out?
Miles Brown for Miles
And he
Morales.
bombs the box, causing the spell to spill out around Liberty Island. I love how the VFX caused that tear to turn something that should be in the deep background feel like a canvas that is way closer to us. And in this chaos, MJ slips and falls from the scaffolding,
Yep.
the framing exactly matching Gwen
Tearjerker.
slow-mo
Tearjerker
death drop in
moment.
2014, scaring the hell out of all of us.
I'm sorry. Somebody said, you seen that people want NBA YoungBoy to be Miles Morales?
Tom Holland Peter dives after her, but he gets swiped by Goblin.
what?
So it's up to Andrew Garfield Peter to step up to catch her, redeeming his failure to save Gwen. But they do.
I'm sorry, but like, could you imagine YoungBoy playing Miles Morales swinging in a Spider-Man to stop crime? Hey, yo, stop stealing, nigga. Like, on God, like, I really do something to you, man. Like, I really do it to you, bro. Alligator stepping. Like, yo, what the fuck?
Do it in a really cool way, because notice this time he focuses more on the leap itself to catch her in his arms instead of trying to snatch her with his webbing,
man.
all to avoid that whiplash that actually caused Gwen to die, proving that this poor guy has
even
been
in this movie, it was sad when he and then
Jerome
you see the
donated
web go like
$5.
this.
You ever did a movie night type thing on your Discord server?
obsessing over that decision every day of his life.
Movie night. I haven't done it.
Finally,
No, I haven't done it in
a
a
sorcerer setup for Ned when the cloak of levitation
in a
catches him. We actually
while.
get a little leitmotif of Doctor Strange's theme
Or at
music
all,
there
ever.
too. Get this man a cloak. And then on the fallen giant Captain America shield, Tom Holland, Peter, and Goblin do get out, and it is vicious.
Literally
Peter
wrestling.
prepares to kill Goblin, lifting his glider to
And
bring
he was-
down on him
he
the
was
same way Captain America nearly killed Iron Man in
He
Civil
was,
War,
like,
using the tool
feeding
that Peter's
him.
now standing on.
He was
This
feeding
kid
him.
is moments away from going full John Walker, but Tobey Maguire Peter jumps in, grabs the glider, even though Tom Holland Peter shoves that glider even closer to him. Ultimately, he helps him see the
Prince
light
T
and to make a
has
difference.
just donated $50. Hey Dante, this guy Oxter Bruce Lee freestyle on his iFreddy. Also, how was your day?
Wait, Ox my Bruce. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Thank you for the $50. Thank you for the $50. Hold on.
Choice, and so Tom Holland proves his change.
Austin was freestyle. I thought you were talking about your music. Hold on 1 second.
By hitting Norman with the anti-serum and giving him a second chance. Meanwhile, the sky opens
I still don't trust him.
up to dozens of
Nigga talking about what happened? What did I do? I don't trust you, bro. You're too good at lying.
Glowing silhouette.
I saw Scorpion.
Presumably other characters who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man from other universes. One of them holds a spear, looks like Kraven.
I called it out in the theater, and I felt so cool because it's always like usually in movies like this, somebody else will point something out, and then I'll realize like, oh shit. But as soon as it popped up on screen, I was like, yo, that's Scorpion. And then somebody's like, oh, it is. It actually is. I was like, shit.
Even the Hunter. Others match the shape of Rhino.
I felt so
There's
cool.
another one that kind of looks like Scorpion. I'm gonna go deeper into these in another video too. So
Okay.
Peter and Doctor Strange realize that the only way to seal up these cracks is to complete the memory wipe spell as it was intended, meaning everyone will forget Peter is Spider-Man. Notice how, whereas the runes before were thinner, more rushed written, here they are bolder and more authoritative, like the runes cast by Scarlet Witch in the WandaVision final battle.
Yo,
so
Scarlet,
Toby and Andrew make their final goodbyes, and Toby
she
says,
finna
"It's
fuck
what
some
we
shit
do."
up. I don't know what they
Calling
gonna do
out
with
Aunt May
her.
Justified why you should help people. And
I ain't
Peter
gonna hold
explains
you.
it all to MJ, and he promises he will come find her. Just reminds me a lot of that theme from Eternal Sunshine, how love is too powerful of a force to be bound by memory. And MJ tells Peter that she loves him, but she doesn't let him say it back to her, wagering that the first time he can say it to her on the other side, it'll be so pure and real that that could be the thing that awakens her. And then so, after the spell is complete,
Rip
the
the
world
dream.
continues to know that Spider-Man exists, but the name Peter Parker means nothing to them. This is crazy, because it means that Ned and MJ still made it into MIT, but with no physical evidence of Peter Parker's history
Yeah,
with
Rhino
them.
was
So in
up there
addition
too.
to brainwashing everyone's memories, this spell must also have warped all of reality to erase documents, any kind of digital records,
This
any
dude is
physical
so
mark that
stupid.
Peter Parker left on the world.
know what I
And
want.
Does the guy have a birth certificate? A social security
Hey, I'll tell
card?
you
I
about
would say that
best
that
friend.
should have to necessitate a new history to be conjured to replace the Peter history that was erased. But, and I hate to point this out, but if you think about it, Peter
Noah
was
donated
Yeah, all this shit's
$5.
confusing now.
Bro Captain America's friend keyed Iron Man's parents, and then they jumped Iron Man for being mad about it.
I remember I saw that was a tweet.
been absent from his major events in his life, from his homecoming dance, from his field trips.
That shit
from his
was a
school
tweet, and that
competitions.
shit's
He was
so
a plague for
fucking
5
true,
years.
bro.
It's depressing to realize.
I was
this,
on Iron
but
Man's
his
side.
erasure is not that disruptive
During
to his
that whole
friends'
thing.
lives. I mean, essentially, this just means MJ and Ned spent more of their teenage years alone, which for
Aw.
MJ, reading a book by herself is just kind of who she is. Ned tinkering with his Legos is who he is. I mean, yeah, it's sadder the more you think about it, but it's true. That's why Peter makes this sacrifice, because he knows his loved ones can get by without him. And so when he finds
nigga finna
them
cry.
back in the Peter Pan coffee shop, himself a kind of Peter Pan stuck watching kids grow up and move on without him. However, MJ
He really finna cry. Like, yeah, damn, the shit was sad, but bro, his voice was shaking.
still wears the Black Dahlia necklace. So somewhere deep down, she still loves him. And the coffee cup she gives him reads, "We are happy to serve you," a cup that he holds on to remind himself to serve. By the way, we actually saw the Sanctum Apprentice with one of those coffee cups earlier when she was trying to fix that same artifact that Thor also broke in Ragnarok. That cup also showed up on the dashboard of the Tracksuit Mafia in Hawkeye episode 5. And Peter almost says to MJ, "I love you," but he stops himself and he waits upon seeing the Band-Aid because he doesn't want to hurt MJ anymore. So to protect her, for now.
Yeah, she was like, no, it's okay. It doesn't hurt anymore. And I think that's when he was like, damn, it don't hurt no more. Now that, and it's like, now that I don't exist, you know, it's like a parallel, like, damn, now that I don't exist in your life, it don't hurt anymore. That shit hit me deep, bruh. That shit hit me deep. Yo, have y'all seen the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks? I don't want to spoil the movie. You should see the movie if you haven't seen it. It's an old ass movie, but basically he was like trapped. He was trapped on an island or some shit for like years, and everybody thinks, you know, he's dead or some shit. So when he gets back, when he gets off land, he finally gets off land, and it's all over the news like, yo, he's actually alive. What the fuck? He's the sole survivor. His wife already got a new dude, and like she's already like remarried, and I think they have a kid, and it's just so sad because it's just so fucked, bro. It's just so fucked up, and that's what I'm thinking about here. It's like, yo, what do you do in that situation where it's like somebody thought you were dead, and then you come back and you say that you're not, but they already moved on because they thought you were dead. So sad.
Way. Peter visits May's grave. You'll notice the flowers cover the birth and death dates. I guess because, as Tony Stark observed when he first met May in Civil War, we never do quite know how old May is. Happy shows up, doesn't know who Peter is, but he compares this feeling to losing Tony. And Peter sets up his new apartment.
Someone said I would be sick. Imagine losing Zendaya.
I am praying that they can find a way to make Mr. Ditkovich his landlord. You'll notice he has a GED test prep book, and that's because this guy has no academic record anymore. Also, we see...
Wait, he's getting his GED? Yo, like, he's really broke, though. Like, he really out here and he's broke. Like, the apartment is shitty. Dude talking about your rent's due next week or something. He don't even have a job. Oh, is he about to start serving the pizzas now?
He sets up his Palpatine Lego, which was the first we saw of Ned Leeds back in Homecoming. And he wears a new suit with brighter blues and swings out past 30 Rockefeller Center, where the upcoming finale of Hawkeye will be set. I don't think we'll see Spider-Man swinging in the background of that, but a guy can dream. Being a stranger to the community, Peter
the
Parker
next movie will actually
so
finally
painful.
start how, like, it's almost like these three movies were a prequel to the Soul Spider-Man, like the true Spider-Man movie.
It does force this kid to mature into the selfless hero that his forebears showed him.
But then he just say he don't want to be
At
Spider-Man no
times,
more.
The life of a hero is a lonely one, but all those people are still there, and they may not remember, but they still love him. And one day he will find his way home. That is everything I found in this heart-wrenching and beautiful Spider-Man film. But there's so much more I want to say about this movie. So to support our channel and help us do that, please check out
He's already got 3 more movies
at newrockstarsmerch.com. That strange entitlement design is calling to you.
Oh, I thought
we
he
also
was
got
done.
a Kingpin-inspired Long Live the King shirt. You can follow me on...
Dude said he want to start a family, bro. He got Zendaya. He got Zendaya. He's already just trying to shoot up her club. Yeah, really. Oh, 3 more. Wait, confirmed? Oh shit. Okay, okay, I'm with that. I'm definitely not complaining, bro. Definitely not complaining. Okay. W video, W informative, W information. Yeah, it was a while ago. Okay, so yes, so that was definitely about those 3 were literally a prequel. He's always had help. He always had a partner or like some shit like that. And then now we get the sole single true Spider-Man shit. Oh my god, that's gonna be so good. Okay, hold on. Let me see this. What is this? Something about my song. What the fuck is this?
Okay.